In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your ideas and just by a simple audio dictation into your phone, you are going to be able to create your Instagram posts completely automated. Let me first show you a quick demo of how this actually works. If we jump in to my phone where I have Telegram running and I hold down the microphone button and come up with an idea for an Instagram post, let's say it's something like create an Instagram post on how Botox works. And then we jump back into the computer, you'll see that it's running through this entire workflow. This first step grabbed that audio, it downloaded the file, it transcribed the audio file to text, it then wrote an Instagram post, it created a summary topic statement of that, and then wrote it over to my Airtable database, and boom, here it is. The topic statement was Botox benefits for wrinkle reduction. Here is the Instagram post that was written all by itself. Let's talk Botox, aka the little magic injection that keeps wrinkles in check, etc. And then I have the option at the end to decide if I want to approve that or reject that post. It's as simple as that. Incredibly powerful, quick little automation. Now let's get back to show you how we actually make this in make.com. For this demo, you're going to need a couple of different tools. You're going to need a tool called make.com. It looks something like this, and this allows you to connect one app to another. This is the hub of all of my automations, and make.com, in my opinion, is a great option for people that are getting into the automation scene, but are not so techy, because there are other competitors to Make. There's Zapier, there is N8N, but I think that Make falls in a nice middle ground. So if you have not yet grabbed an account with Make, you can do so. There is a free trial. And by the way, I'll put a link to Make in the description down below. If you use that, it's an affiliate link, so thanks very much for that. It's the same with all of the tools here that I'm using in this demo. I'll put a link to all those tools. The other thing that you will need is Telegram. Telegram is a fantastic app that is on the phone, and it is a communications app. You can use things like Slack, you can use things like Facebook Messenger, but those are a little bit more complicated when it comes to setting up the API. I did a previous video on how to connect Telegram to Make, and I'll put a card to that right now, but I will go through that as well with this. So if you don't yet have Telegram, you'll need to download that onto your phone. The other thing that we are going to be using is Airtable. Airtable is a fantastic tool. It is a database. It's kind of a little bit like Excel or Sheets, but this allows us to do a lot more automation functionality with this app. This is a game changer when it comes to keeping your things organized, and I'm going to show you how we set that up as well. So you're going to need Telegram. You're going to need Make as the hub. You're going to need Airtable to keep track of everything that we're organizing. By the way, you can do this in Excel or Sheets, but I prefer Airtable, and so I'm going to show you how to do that here. The other thing that you're going to be needing is an account with OpenAI to access ChatGPT. Again, you can use other platforms. You can use Perplexity. You can use DeepSeek. But again, with ChatGPT being the most common right now, I will show you how to do this with ChatGPT, and there are lots of other tools that you can use. The nice thing about these automations is that they can be customized to your liking using different tools. And so whatever you have or you have subscriptions to or you prefer using, then do that. Use the one that you are most comfortable with. When it comes to the API, an API is just a fancy way to connect one app to another. And I will show you how to do that when we get to bringing in the OpenAI section. So first of all, let's go back to Make, and I'm just going to show you what it's like to create a scenario, and we're going to get this going here. The first thing that we do is we hit create a new scenario up in the corner here. So we'll click on that. Make sure that you name them. It just makes it easier to keep track of what you're doing. So I'm going to call this the Telegram to Instagram demo. Okay, perfect. Now we need to add our first step in this module, in this automation, in this scenario. And so, as I said, we're going to be using Telegram. So let's bring up Telegram. And what we want to do is click on the Telegram bot. You'll see that there are lots of different options here. We want to use the one that says watch updates here. And you'll see it has this instant tag. That means that as soon as it gets any information from Telegram, meaning whenever you dictate something, automatically it's going to trigger this scenario. So let's use this one. And now we have to create a webhook. This means that we have to simply attach Telegram to Make so that they can communicate with each other. Now, this is where I did that previous video on how to connect Telegram, and I will put a link to that here. However, I will just briefly take you through it. What you do is you do create a webhook. Now, we need to add a new connection. I already have one, so I'm going to add a new one. For the purpose of this, let's call this one the Make Demo. And we need a token. Now, to find your token, this is your secret token that allows you to communicate just with your own Telegram app. We'll go over to the phone view here, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to go into Telegram. And when we go into Telegram, there's this bot called Bot Father. You can see it's the second one here. If you don't see it, just simply type in the search bar Bot Father and you'll find it. You go into Bot Father, and you need to create a new channel for your bot. This is going to allow Telegram to automatically communicate with Make. So let's go over here and let's type in /newbot, and we need a name for it. First of all, we need a name for the channel. So let's just call this one Make Demo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and we hit enter. Perfect. Now we've got a name for the channel. Now we need the name for the bot in the channel that's actually going to do the work for us. Imagine it being like you, but doing it automatically. It needs to end in bot. So I like to just use the same channel name, Make Demo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bot. And we hit enter, and there we go. Now, what you will notice is that when that came up, this generated a token, and you can see that right here. This is your secret token. Don't worry, I will delete this after this demo is done. But this is your secret token that allows you to now communicate with Telegram from Make. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my phone and I'm going to highlight that, just that area. So I'm copying the part that I want to get. I am going to go copy. And now I'm going to go back to my computer. And over here, paste that token in. And we go save. What that has done now is it has created the connection between that channel and make.com. We can click save. This is now done, and we can click save here. In order to communicate with Make, we need to be able to enter information into this channel, to this bot. You'll notice that in this area where that token was generated, if we scroll up a little bit, you'll see that it says close to the top, done, congratulations on your new bot. You can find me at. Just click on that link. And now you have that channel open. If you click on the start button, this has now generated a message. And if we go back to Make and we simply right click and go run this module, what you'll see is that this has actually received that first message. And the text right here, it says /start, because that's what happened when I pushed that start button. We'll just do a quick test. I'm just going to type in here and say, hello. I'm going to make sure that this is right-clicked and click run this module only, and it's waiting for information. And so when I push enter on that message hello in Telegram, there it is. And if we open it up, it says hello. So we know that these are attached. Fantastic. Now that we have that connected, what we want to do is be able to generate an audio file so that we can just speak to Telegram, not have to type anything, and that will come into Make. And if we go back over to the phone, I will show you that if you click on the little microphone icon, and if you hold down that button, then you can dictate a message. Let's try this. Hey there, it's Teri here, and this is a test audio message. All right, let's go back over to the computer, and let's hit run once, or you could right click. It will use existing data because there is that data now that I have already sent to the computer. And what you'll notice now is that if we open up this bundle, meaning the information that came in, we have a message and we have an attachment. And here is the attachment. We can click on voice and you can see here, this is all of the metadata that describes the audio file. Perfect. We don't have to worry too much about what all this stuff is. We just want to be sure that a voice message was received, and it has been received. Great. Okay, so we've got a voice message. Now we need to download that message so that we can do something with that audio file. Let's add another module, and under the Telegram bot, let's scroll down until we can find the module that says download a file. Great. We've got the connection already because we set this up in the first step. The file ID Now, if we go back and look at the information from that first module, you can see the modules are numbered here. And I'll just show you this. If I take that away, you can see that there's a number here, a number 1. This shows you that we're dealing with module number 1. So if we click on this, we need to download a file ID. And we're dealing with module number 1 right here. And we need the file ID. So if we scroll through this and we go down and we click on attachment, you'll see that file ID is right here. We simply click on that. And now this is going to download that file ID. We click save. Perfect. All right. Now, as we go through this, we can, of course, name things so that we're keeping track of what we're doing. I can rename this. Let's rename this bot Telegram input. The next one, we can rename it just so we know what's happening here. We'll say download file. All right. This keeps things much more organized for us. Let's click run once again. And I'm going to go back to the Telegram bot, and I'm going to do another audio message. Hey there, Teri here. This is a test message. And you'll see that now this first module ran, it found the file, and the second one, it actually downloaded the file. And so now we have this data which shows that, in fact, there is an audio file that has been downloaded. Fantastic. All right. Now we've got a file. What's the next step here? We need to turn that file into text so that then the AI, ChatGPT, can use that. How do we do that? Well, we do that by using an OpenAI module. In this case, what we are looking for is we're looking for a transcription using the Whisper module. Create a transcription. It transcribes an audio to text. That's exactly what we want to do. So let's click on that. And now for an OpenAI connection, if you don't already have one, I will just briefly go through this with you. What you do is you go to platform.openai.com and you create an account. Once you are in this screen and you have opened an account, you want to go into your settings and you want to click on billing. Here you're going to need to add a small amount of money to your account for it to use because you pay as you go. This is very cheap. It's pennies when you use it. And so I usually have a balance normally between $5 and $10, and it can last a very long time. But you will need some credit here in order to use the API. Once you've done that, you go to the API keys and you create a new secret key. When you click create a new key, you can give it a name. So let's call this the make demo key. You can select a project if you have one or a default project, and you go create secret key. Here is your secret key. Again, do not share this with anybody, but you're going to copy that. And once you have done that, you are then going to go back to your make scenario. And when you add your new OpenAI connection, it's going to ask you for your API key. All right. As well, you will need your organization ID, and you can find that when you go back to the general tab on your OpenAI account. I won't show you that now for the sake of privacy, but you're going to also use that key and put it into the organization ID. Once you've done that, then you're set. And you can click save and close. For my purpose, I already have a connection, so I'm going to leave that one there. What you will notice is that it has already selected the file from the previous step to be downloaded and transcribed. We do have to give it a prompt. It can be something very simple in this case. Just simply transcribe this audio file. And then we click save. Now that that is done, we can run yet another test. It's very important to test as we go along. So in case we run into any problems, we can troubleshoot it. So let's run this once. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to go into Telegram. And once more, I'm going to record a short test message. Hey, how you doing? This is a test message. And you'll notice that things are active here. It was downloaded. It was transcribed already. And if we click on this, we can see that the output has the text here. Hey, how are you doing? This is a test message. Perfect. So we're doing really well. You can always click on this auto align button down here to keep things organized if things start to get out of place or get a little bit messy. So let's rename this one as well. This one is going to be transcribe audio. It'll help if I can spell properly. All right. Perfect. Now we've got the audio. Now here's where it gets really interesting because you can do whatever you want. We are now going to, again, call on ChatGPT. So I'm going to click add another module, open ChatGPT, and in this case, we're going to create a completion. That simply means basically get it to complete a task. And you'll see that it's opening up here. There are a number of different options here. You can simply leave this as create a chat completion. There are different models. There are different pricing for the different models. Generally speaking, some of the older models are a little bit cheaper. For the purpose of this, we can use ChatGPT 4.0 latest system. It doesn't really matter. They're all going to give you some type of response, but you might want to experiment a little bit with the different models and see which one works best for you. Now, what we have to do is we have to add a message, because this is as if you just opened up the OpenAI platform on your desktop and typed in a prompt to get ChatGPT to do something. It's the same kind of idea. So we need to add a message. The first thing is to define the role. I like to define the developer system role. This is basically giving the AI some instructions on how it's to behave. What is the system, the overall system of what it is meant to be doing? And in this case, I would like it to be a social media manager. You are a social media manager who writes Instagram captions for my posts. Something like that. But again, you can experiment with this. This is where there's a whole nother video, hundreds of videos on how to do prompt engineering. The next section is the role, and we're going to make this a user role. And this is where we are giving it some type of specific instructions. So I'm going to say, take the following text and write an engaging Instagram post about the top. Okay, perfect. Let's fix my spelling here. This is a very, very short prompt. By no stretch of the imagination is this a fantastic prompt. I'm doing this as a way to show you, and then you can experiment with this and build on this. You can do things like use emojis, write in the first person, use some light humor, include 5 relevant hashtags. You get the idea. You can do whatever you want it to do. And then finally, at the end, here is the text, colon. And now we need to paste that text that we had it transcribe. And what we'll notice is over here, we have that text. You simply just click on this, and now whatever text comes in, it is using that as the variable. We do not need to set an input type. The max completion tokens is fine for this number. This is if you were having a very, very long output. You might have to increase this, but this should be fine just the way it is. And let's click save. All right. Now let's click on this button at the bottom here to auto align things. Let's rename this one. This is to write the IG post. And let's do this one more time. And only this time, let's give it something to work with. So I'm going to click run once. I'm going to go back to my Telegram, and I'm going to give it an idea for an Instagram post. Please write an Instagram post about a common myth of Botox and what is the truth behind this myth. And you'll see, there it goes. It grabbed the file, it downloaded it, it transcribed it, and now it is writing the Instagram post. Let's see what it came up with. And here's the result. Botched Botox myths debunked. Ever heard someone say Botox will make your face completely frozen? Well, let me spill the truth. That only happens if it's overdone. When administered correctly, Botox simply softens wrinkles while still letting you express yourself. Give it like a smooth filter, but in real life. The goal isn't to look stiff, it's to look refreshed and natural. So yes, you'll still be able to frown at bad drivers and raise your brows at drama. Have you heard any wild Botox myths before? Drop them in the comments. And then there are 5 hashtags. Incredible. And if you'll notice, it did what we asked, right? It's got some emojis. It's got the hashtags. It added a little bit of humor. Perfect. Love it. Now we've got this. How are we going to keep track of where this goes and how we can use it in the future? This is where I like to use Airtable. So before we set up Airtable over here, I'm going to jump over to the Airtable itself. Again, if you don't have an account for Airtable, there's a free account. If you want to use my affiliate link, I'll link that below. Again, all the tools that we use here are linked below. But this is a fantastic tool to help keep track of things. I'm just going to close this getting started box here so we have a little bit more room to work with. We need to figure out what sort of columns we want. So clearly one of them is going to be the topic, and we'll just click save that. This is going to be the actual Instagram post, IG post. Perfect. All right. Let's delete this field, and I'm going to keep the status one. And you can have a to-do, in progress, done. This could be in progress. I'm going to slide that up to the top. And then we can have one that says approved. And we can also have one that says rejected. And let's change this color here to red. So green, bright green for approved, rejected, and in progress, and save. All right. So this gives us an idea. Now I did add this extra topic here. So what we can do is we can go back to our make scenario, and I can just simply add another completion here and click OpenAI. I'm basically doing the same thing as I did for the previous module, but I'm just going to go and I'm going to say create a completion. And over here, I'm using that same connection. And this time I'm simply going to say, this is a pretty basic one. So I'm just going to use the same model, ChatGPT 4.0. And then I'm going to go down here. I'm just going to add a message. And this is a user because I'm giving it direct instructions that I want it to do each time. And I'm going to say, take the following IG post and write a 5-word topic description of the post. And then I'm going to colon, and then I'm going to now take the result of that last one, and it's going to take that, and I'm going to click save. All right. So this one is now, if we rename that one, this is giving us the topic. And finally, what I'd like to do now is add an Airtable, because what I want to do is I want to write what we just created into that Airtable so that then I can use that later on. We're going to create a record, and we are going to make a connection to Airtable. If you haven't done this before, then you're going to create an Airtable connection. The way you do this is going back to Airtable. When you go to Developer Hub, you will see that there's a couple of options here. You can create a token here, or you could actually click into your personal access tokens. I'm not going to do this again for privacy reasons, but you will go into there, create your token, and then you will bring that back over to Make, wherein you will add your connection. Once that has been done, then we're going to click on the appropriate base. The base is the name of your workspace. Up here is demos, and this is the name of the base. And then you can have multiple tables within a base. So for example, I could add another table here if I wanted to, and you'll see now I've got table 2. Table 1, I'm just going to call this IG posts so that we know the name of that table when we go back and look for it. And now when we go back to make, you'll see here that the base was demos. So there we go. We've got demos as the base. The table, we're looking at the IG post table. All right, perfect. And now these are the columns that we created. Remember again, there was topic, there was an IG post, and there was a status. So the topic is going to come from the result of this topic module. You can see that when I'm hovering over something that has to do with that module, it's actually pulsating there just underneath. So you know that's the module that we're talking about. So this is going to be the topic. The IG post is going to come from this one, module number 4. And the status, in this case, I don't want to pull something from something I've created, because remember, I created a drop-down list of status to do rejected or approved. I want to turn off this map button, because mapping means that we're mapping it to something that has been done in this workflow. But when we turn it off, it's bringing in the data from Airtable. And now I can simply click on in progress, because this one is indeed in progress. And we click save. One more thing, I always want to rename things. So this is write to Airtable. All right, so this is a great little workflow. We've got Telegram input coming in. We've got it downloading the audio file. We've got it transcribing that audio. We've got it using that text to write a post, summarizing that into a short little topic, and then writing it all into our table for us to use in the future. Let's do a trial run of the entire thing. Let's go run once. And now I'm going to go back into my Telegram phone. Here we are. And let's give it another topic. Write an Instagram post about things that I can do to make sure that my patients coming for filler treatments are as safe as possible. Let's go back into the computer. And again, you'll see it's generating this, transcribing the audio, writing the Instagram post, coming up with a topic line, and writing it to Airtable. So if everything worked correctly, let's jump into Airtable and look at that. This had 3 lines to begin with automatically, so we'll just delete those. All right, the topic, filler safety and patient care. So it's easy to have a look at and see what that is. We can click on this and open it up, and let's see what it says. Safety first always. When my patients come in for filler treatments, their safety is my top priority. Here's what I do to make everything go smoothly and beautifully. And it goes through the things that we can do. And again, there we have it. It's got the hashtags, and boom, you have an Instagram post from just dictating an idea about it. If you want to use this in the future, then you can simply click on approved. If you don't, you can click on rejected. And that brings us into more automations that we can do later on, because once you start approving things and rejecting things and changing the status in Airtable, which is one of the reasons I love Airtable, Airtable can start to automatically talk back to Make and start posting things for you. The possibilities here are endless, truly. You could start bringing in different modules. You could start bringing in YouTube stuff. You could start bringing in Twitter. You can start bringing in all kinds of things. Maybe you want to start bringing in AI-generated images. Maybe you want to start to create carousel posts out of this. It truly is limitless. So, having said that, if you found this video helpful, please hit like, please hit subscribe. There's lots more of this coming. And comment below on what kind of things you'd like me to cover next as far as automations go. This is a game changer for us healthcare professionals. It saves a ton of time, as you can see. It takes a little bit of time to set it up, but once you've got it, you are good to go. Again, all the links to the services that I'm using for this demo are below, and I look forward to talking with you again real soon. Take care.